heart is true. I wanna let you know I'm never gonna leave your side. As long as I got you in my life, I'm alright. Don't you know that I would never lie? I'm not gonna leave your side. Baby, it's you and me for life. We gon' ride. And you know that, and you know that.
Peace and power, family. Peace and power. How are y'all? Y'all had a good weekend. Y'all had a good week. All that good. I hope so. We have just been killing it in the stratosphere. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Freedom Podcast. It is Freedom, hashtag FREADOM, a literary podcast where we go over hot topics, everything that's going on in pop culture, hip hop culture, and how it affects our community, as well as we always get into a little bit of reading as well, because leaders are readers, and literacy is the best way to obtain knowledge, and applied knowledge is power. So it's all about uplifting, empowerment, and all of that. What you just heard was Miss Mika, her like dope ass tune, Twin Flame. The visual for it is dope. She's a dope rapper. She's always about doing things for her community and just like uplifting the people, as well as working with other Black artists and Black owned companies. Her visuals actually produced by Motiontography, which is a completely Black owned film production company. And all of this is based in the good old 757 Hampton Roads area. What's up to my family out there? I love y'all for life. So I had to shout my girl Meek out because it was so dope. So that's what we kicked it off with. And now we'll put the link for her song and that visual in the bio. Let's get started and hop right into all of the dopeness that has been going on. So this is election season, and the results have come back. And this week, y'all, when I tell you, we are killing it. Like, Black folks literally all up and down, the the winning ballots. We killed it. Literally record-breaking numbers. The Democratic parties were leading in most of them. And I'll just name off. For one, there were 7 cities that elected their first Black mayors. And before I even go into listing everyone in their dopeness, I know after 45 got elected, everyone kind of felt a bit debilitated, like, my vote doesn't matter, like, oh, the electoral votes, blah, blah, blah. But where your vote counts the most is on that sort of city level, where, city and county level, wherever you may reside, that's where it counts the most, because those are the people who directly influence what's happening in your neighborhood, where you live, where you're paying rent, where you parking your car, where you calling home. They decide those things. So having someone who has the same views as you, has the same vision for the very community that you live and thrive in, it's so beneficial. So, like I said, it was so dope to have all of these Democrats come in who actually have real policies and structures in place that they want to put in place that actually benefit the people, not so much the gain. It's not on some Republican socialist type bullshit. Like, it's all for the people. And I'm so excited that they all, well, not all, but the majority of them all look like us. And like I said, breaking numbers of people who were the first Black blank in their communities, which I know some people are like, well, like, we sound silly. Why are we still celebrating who's the first Black, whatever. Well, sometimes we still need to shout them out, because at the end of the day, we are not that far removed. So having situations where, yes, in 2017, there are still situations where someone is the first Black mayor of a town, whether that town, even though that town may be predominantly Black, and this is the first time a mayor has actually looked like them, That's a big deal. And we will not diminish it. We will not treat it like it's mediocre because the shit is dope. And this is how change come about. We just needed to crack that door. And now that it's cracked, we busting through. So, the 7 cities that elected their first black mayors. We have Jonathan McCullough in Georgia. We have Brendan Barber in South Carolina. Mary Parham Copeland in Georgia. Wilmot Collins. We have Booker Gaynor in Cairo, Georgia. We have Melvin Carter. And we have Vi Lyles, who is Charlotte's first black female. It's so dope. And then we also had Andrea Jenkins. She's the first trans woman of color to win for the city council. So all around, nothing but dope things. I can't wait to see how this continues to permeate and, hopefully reaches, those upper levels of government. So real change can be made and our voices can be heard. Moving on to what's poppin'. And, no. We got one more black magic. So, there is a brother in Philly who was doing, just out of the kindness of his own heart, doing haircuts for the homeless. Literally would set up his chair on the sidewalk, cutting hair, just helping those out who are less fortunate. Y'all, why this brother just got offered and received his own barbershop. Yes, his own barbershop. Just from doing things out of the kindness of his heart. He now has his own shop. He can teach, he can cut hair, he can employ other black barbers. That right there, that is black power. And that's the ish we be talking about. That's what we want more of. Because I'm telling you, when you put that good out into the universe, it is reflected to you, back onto you tenfold. So we salute this brother, we commend him. If I'm in Philly, I might go there, get my back edged up, all of that. I'm so excited for what is to come. Because if he had that vision before he even had a location, but that vision and that determination to still help people out, just imagine what he's going to do with his own space. So excited for the brother. Congratulations. If anybody knows him and has his information, let us know. We definitely have a little surprise gift for him straight from Conscious Kingdom. If you supporting us, we support you. When we say us, we mean the black community, period. We always are down to collaborate, to support those who are feeding directly into the community, and we see it. Not the flaw, not doing it for social media or not doing it at all, but saying that they did. No, we support those who support us. So commend that brother. I will put his information in the bio as well, so you can get more information on his location. And I'm sure he could take some donations too, just to help him get everything started. Moving right along into what's popping for the week. Meek Mill has just been going through it. He is currently facing 2 to 4 years because they said that he violated his probation. There was an airport fight, and then there was also a reckless driving arrest, which would have violated his probation. So he is looking at 2 to 4 years right now. And granted, I'm not one of those people to be like, free my mans, free my homie. If my homie indeed did something that warrants him being there, we all are adults. We have to be held responsible for our actions. I do, however, have an issue when I sit back and I think about just how twisted the judicial system can be. There are countless people who have done way worse than a probation violation, and they are not receiving the harsh treatment that Meek is. I have no problem with accepting that at times we as a people do things that are illegal and that places us in those situations. But what I do have an issue with is when someone can commit a murder and receive less time than someone who just simply violated their probation. My issue with this whole Meek Mill situation, there are people who are literally killers. They murdered someone. Most of the time had video footage of the murder, and they didn't receive as any of the harsh treatment that is being thrown on Meek Mill for a simple, mere probation violation. Okay? Let me just give you a rundown of the people who Meek is facing harsher sentences than they have received for their crimes. Okay? We have Darren Wilson, the killer of Mike Brown. Timothy Lomaine, Tamir Rice's killer. Daniel Pantaleo, Eric Garner's killer. I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Yeah, him. Not in jail. Sean Williams, John Crawford's killer. Michael Slager, Walter Scott's killer. Again, we have evidence, we have at times video footage of these things, and these people are not looking at 2 to 4 years in jail. They're barely looking at administrative leave. So that is my issue with it. Yes, Meek did violate his probation, and I get it. He's a black rapper, so you got to make an example, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine and cute, but at the end of the day, we have actual killers who are killing unarmed black people who are not in jail for the things that they did, and Meek is looking at 2 to 4 years, and I just don't get that. I don't get it, nor do I support it. Jill Scott has filed for a divorce. She, on the divorce decree, she stated, it was irreconcilable differences or what have you. The husband basically said she's manipulative and she wants to control men, and he's not that type of man, and that's not happening with him. Oh, Jilly's my aunt. I don't even want to go into it anymore. It just saddens me. I can't. But I'll keep you posted as more details come about. I know last week that everyone got it confused that I was an advocate for Tyrese. Tyrese is a whole clown, and I will still stay committed to that. He is. However, what I was advocating for were the men who have also gone through custody struggles as he has. That's what I was advocating for. Not Tyrese per se, but more so linked to the issue at hand and how it does affect the black community. So, with that being said, again, Tyrese is a whole clown. As you can recall, when he made the video that everyone saw of him crying, like, what more do you want from me? Like, we all saw it. They have literally made a jersey, like Jersey Club mixed to it, like Baltimore Club, whatever you want to call it. They've remixed it, and it's actually really good. I kind of feel bad that I like it, but after he made that, though, countless people were like, yo, somebody needs to call him, tell him get off social media, blah, blah, blah. Tyrese reports that Jada and Will Smith paid him $5 million to stay off of social media, posted this whole thing like, I will do that since they paid this money, and my daughter's lawyer fees are taken care of, blah, blah, blah. Only to find out that they actually did not do that. And I'm just sitting here like, this man really thinks he's Jody. Like, I lie to you because I care about your feelings. Like, he really thinks he's the character Jody from Baby Boy. Like, he's crazy. And again, a whole clown. So anyone that got it misconstrued, I was not advocating for Tyrese. I was advocating for the other black men who are enduring what Tyrese is going through with the court system. Let's clear that up. Moving right along, Terry Crews. So y'all like, who is that? Damon next Friday. Remember, he was like messing with Cat Williams' character. He was like, you look magically delicious. Yeah, remember his stature and how buff and muscular he is. Also, he's Julius, and Everybody Hates Chris. Like, y'all know Terry Crews. You might not know his name, but that the actor that plays those roles that we all love, his name is Terry Crews, and he, with all of the sexual harassment and sexual assault allegations that are coming out about all of these bigwigs in Hollywood, Terry Crews actually came out and admitted that he himself too has experienced a form of sexual assault in Hollywood. he reported that he came forward with the story that a high-powered honcho grabbed his crotch and afterward grinned like a jerk. He said, I thought twice about how the whole thing would appear. 240-pound black man stomps out Hollywood honcho would be the headline the next day, he wrote. Only I probably wouldn't have been able to read it because I would have been in jail. So for everyone that's like, why wouldn't he have spoken out earlier and all that? He's right. He is a black man. He is a very big, muscular, tall-statured black man. So even though he was the sexual assault was initiated and he was the victim, if he would have retaliated in violence, the headline wouldn't have been that this white Hollywood executive groped him. It would have been, oh my God, Terry Crews then hospitalized Hollywood exec, and his career would have been damaged and tarnished, and his reputation would have been over. So I commend him to that. Even at this point, he was man enough to admit what happened to him and come out and speak about it. To be quite honest, I think that sexual assault against men, especially black men in general, is ignored because people fear the misconception of being like profiled as homosexual if they aren't. So it's like you don't want to be viewed as homosexual, and then you're viewed as soft, and no homo, pause, I ain't on that gay shit and all that. But that doesn't mean that as a black man you can't be violated. And that's what happened to Terry Crews, and I commend him for speaking out about it. So he declined to name his assaulter, but the honcho that he spoke of was later identified as Adam Bennett. He is a WME agent, and he represents stars like Adam Sandler and Emma Stone. If you are into rom-coms, you probably know who that is. But yeah, the guy Bennett has since been placed on leave in light of the allegations, and it's gonna ultimately probably prompt an investigation. But like I said, I commend Terry Crews for just speaking out because, like I said, black men deal with it all the time. If it's not from cops with the stop and frisk, I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen some of those videos, but they're pretty graphic. Grabbing of the genitalia and just up and down the leg and then between the buttocks, and it's just like, is all of that really necessary? Like, what are you truly searching for? Because for one, you're profiling me to begin with, and then in addition to that, I'm also going to be groped and inappropriately touched in the process. And so many of our black men go through it, and it's just unfair. So I hope that with Terry Crews speaking out about it, it becomes an issue that is, addressed, and black men feel more comfortable to speak out during, while it's happening, like, hey, don't do that, and it not always turn into a black man being aggressive or a black man being an angry black man. Like, we can defend ourselves and speak up for ourselves without being categorized into those negative stereotypes. Feel me? Yeah. So last thing, I saw something that was pretty disturbing for me. The Chicago rapper Frito Santana. I don't. If you're not really into like mumble rap and all that, you probably won't know him. But he's worked with people like Chief Keef and things like that. Like he has some XXX Tentacion. Like he's in that kind of realm of music. But what made me interested in this young man, at 27 years old, he was checked into the hospital for kidney and liver failure at 27. And even prior to that, he had to go to the hospital for having a seizure. And, a lot of people on social media were saying, like, bro, like, it's all linked to his aggressive drug use. He is emphatically endorsed lean and, the pill popping culture. So he's really into that. And what's even more disturbing is another rapper, the dude Russ, called him out. It was like, how much Xans and lean do you have to do before you realize you're a fucking loser? They kind of have a little beef or whatever. Russ actually had that on a shirt. So, of course, Frito took it personal because that's kind of what he do. And he replied on Twitter, until I can stop thinking about my dead homies and the trauma that I've been through in my life, that's when I'll stop. There are so many issues here. At 27 years old, there should not be a young man in the hospital for kidney and liver failure. But all of that is linked directly to that dependency on the lean and the pill popping. I get it that it's glamorized in music over dope beats and we all bopping Percocet, Molly Percocet. Like, we all hype to it. But there are people who literally can't function without it. And I hate to be rude, but it's modern day crackheads. Like, it really is. Like, how crack hit our community in the 80s, this prescription drug shit and lean did the same thing to my generation. Because this is a millennial thing. This is a millennial thing on this lean and shit. Like, that's us. And it's so unfortunate because at 27 years old, he's now probably having to be on dialysis and shit for his kidney and liver. And it's just like, bro, like, but at the same time, it also is tied into the issue of mental health. If this young man would not be addicted to lean and popping pills if he had a different way to cope with the things that he's been dealing with. He said himself he will stop when he can let go of, when he'll be able to get over his dead homies and the trauma he's experienced. Like, that mentally, he's not in a good place, but we ignore that because we bop into the music and we having a good time and shit is lit and niggas don't care because we lit. But we get so tied into that party and getting lit culture that we don't realize people are literally killing themselves chasing this high of being lit and going off the pills. And it's crazy because, again, these are millennial. These people are our age. They're my age. So it's like there comes a time where we have to, like, put a fine line and just stop advertising and endorsing shit that literally is killing us as a community. Like, that is directly linked to his drug consumption. It's not some mystery chemical imbalance. That shit literally alters your mind. Like, it alters your mind. It alters the balance, the chemical balance in your brain. It's killing your brain cells. You remember Lean on Me? You smoke crack, don't you? Like, nah, we ain't even saying that. You pop pills, don't you? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And how many more rappers do we have to lose and see be hospitalized for utilizing those drugs before we say, all right, we got to stop endorsing this? Because, again, we might think, okay, we're in our 20s, 30s, early 40s, what have you, and we can mentally know, okay, we're not going to get addicted to that. We can control that. But think of all of the kids who are hearing this music and they're glamorizing this. And don't act like it don't exist, because don't think that you don't see 15-year-old alcoholics or 16-year-olds who are still in perks and Xannies and popping them and thinking it's gone and thinking it's cool to be gone off that shit. And at such young ages, it is literally altering our mind state. We are becoming zombies of ourselves, a shell of a man, a shell of a woman, because of the drugs that we decide to put into our bodies. We have to stop glamorizing drug culture, and if not for nothing, stop making these pharmaceutical companies rich off of our own demise. 27 with kidney and liver failure is unacceptable. We gotta do better, y'all. We gotta do better. We have to find better ways to cope with the stress of what we go through. I know it's a heavy burden to bear, but we have to find other ways than turning to alcohol and drugs and just substances to know the pain, to numb the pain of the things that we go through. We gotta heal, y'all. We do. And on that note, we are going to take a break. All right, and we are back. Again, we are currently in the middle of the four agreements. All right, and this book basically is a practical guide to personal freedom. It goes over four agreements that are believed to help make life easier. We have went over the first two, which is the first one was be impeccable with your word, and the second was don't take anything personally, and now the third agreement is don't make assumptions. So we'll dive right in. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally, then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our words. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. We create a lot of emotional poison just by making assumptions and taking it personally, because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we communicate to each other in the dream of hell and transfer poison to one another. Because we are afraid to ask for clarification, we make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption, because assumptions set us up for suffering. We only see what we want to see and hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imaginations. Because we don't understand something, we make an assumption about the meaning, and when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dreams pops and we find out it was not what we thought it was at all. An example: you are walking in the mall and you see a person you like. The person turns to you and smiles and then walks away. You can make a lot of assumptions just because of this one experience. With these assumptions, you can create a whole fantasy. And you really want to believe this fantasy and make it real. A whole dream begins to form just from your assumptions, and you can believe, oh, this person really likes me. In your mind, a whole relationship begins from that. Maybe you even get married in this fantasy land. But the fantasy is in your mind, in your personal dream. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often, we make the assumption that our partners know what we think and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume they are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel so hurt and say, you should have known. Another example, you decide to get married and you make the assumption that your partner sees marriage the same way that you do. Then you live together and you find out that this is not true. This creates a lot of conflict, but you still don't try to clarify your feelings about marriage. The husband comes home from work and the wife is mad, and the husband doesn't know why. Maybe it's because the wife made an assumption. Without telling him what she wants, she makes an assumption that he knows her so well that he knows what she wants, as if he can read her mind. She gets so upset because he fails to meet her expectations. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of fights, a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. They are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. Again, We make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. It is very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers because there are so many things that the reasoning mind cannot explain. It is not important if the answer is correct, just that the answer itself makes us feel safe. This is why we make assumptions. If others tell us something, we make assumptions, and if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. The assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. When we believe something, we assume we are right about it to the point that we will destroy relationships in order to defend our position. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others. Because we think everyone else will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. That is the way the human mind works. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict. I think I'm able to do this. You make these assumptions, for instance, then you discover that you aren't able to do it. You overestimate or underestimate yourself because you haven't taken the time to ask yourself questions and to answer them. Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation. Or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you truly want. Often, when you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny there are things you don't like about the person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you and you get hurt. Suddenly, you see what you didn't want to see before, only now it is amplified by your emotional poison. Now you have to justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means we don't really like them. Of course, if you decide to live with someone, if you make that agreement, it is always better to make that agreement with someone who is exactly the way you want him or her to be. Find someone whom you don't have to change at all. It is much easier to find someone who is already the way you want him or her to be, instead of trying to change that person. Also, that person might love you just the way you are, so he or she doesn't have to change you at all. If others feel they have to change you, that means they really don't love you just the way you are. So why be with someone if you're not the way he or she wants you to be? We have to be what we are, so we don't have to present a false image. If you love me the way I am, okay, take me. If you don't love me the way I am, okay, bye-bye. Find someone else. It may sound harsh, but this kind of communication means the personal agreements we make with others are clear and impeccable. Just imagine the day that you stop making assumptions with your partner and eventually with everyone else in your life. Your way of communicating will change completely, and your relationships will no longer suffer from conflicts created by mistaken assumptions. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be, and even then, do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. Also, find your voice to ask what you want. Everyone has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. If you don't understand something, it is better for you to ask and be clear instead of making an assumption. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional poison. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable. The first agreement. With clear communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. You won't need to make assumptions because everything becomes so clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. If we communicate in this way, our word becomes impeccable. If all humans could communicate in this way, with impeccability of the word, there would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. All human problems would be resolved if we could just have good, clear communication. This, then, is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but I understand that it's difficult to do. It is difficult because we so often do exactly the opposite. We have all these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make the difference is action. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow. After many repetitions, these new agreements will become second nature, and you will see how the magic of your word transforms you from a negative magician into a positive magician. A positive magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving. By making this one agreement a habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. When you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because Spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of the Spirit, the mastery of love, the mastery of gratitude, and the mastery of life. This is the path to personal freedom. Don't make assumptions. All right, that was the third agreement. I hope that resonates with someone. It definitely means a lot for me personally, just because it's so easy to make assumptions, especially within our relationships, to think that someone just knows what we want. Especially if you have longevity and you have years invested, it's really easy to fall into that. Well, he should have known what I wanted, or she should know what I like, sort of vibe, and then you. Oftentimes, if it gets bad enough, you begin resenting this person because they're not fulfilling something that you desire. When, if you have reached the point of clear, concise communication with one another, you could avoid that by not making that assumption that they already know. I know in Christianity we're always taught like the power of the tongue, and regardless of what deity or whatever you believe in now, you have to know that there's truth to that in itself, because we do have power in the tongue. We speak things into existence, and we also speak what we desire, and speaking what we desire and what we will allow and accept, we also speak into what our reality will be regarding our relationship with others. So always be upfront and honest and speak from the heart. Make your word impeccable. That's the first agreement. And just don't make assumptions that someone knows what you desire, or that someone knows that they're hurting or offending you. And don't, because sometimes they don't know. Oftentimes, especially in this society, we kind of glamorize the whole, like, I'm cutting you off, like it's nothing to cut people off, like everyone is expendable. Don't make that assumption that just because someone hasn't reached out to you, they no longer care for you, or they're doing you dirty, or that's not your man's, like they don't care. Because what we fail to realize at times, we're over in our corner upset because this person isn't reaching out to me, all the while not knowing that that person is in their own realm, going through their own battles, fighting their own demons, and they're just waiting for someone to come and reach out to them. We have to stop making that assumption that people are doing things that are negative to us, when at times it's just a reflection of what they're going through. Don't make that assumption that people are intentionally trying to hurt you, because at times, and the majority of the time, it's a reflection of just what they're going through themselves. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining for another week. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Keep in mind, once we reach 100 subscriptions, we will be giving away $100 worth of free merchandise of your choice. Anything on our site, freely shipped to you, $100 worth of merch. It's something that you can't beat by just following and subscribing to a YouTube. Holidays are coming up. This could knock someone completely out of your list. You actually could win this and choose something for every person that's on your list. Listen, whether you celebrate Kwanzaa or Christmas or whatever the holiday is that you partake in, no matter what, make sure that you're shopping black and that you buy black, and you're supporting your small businesses and local black-owned businesses in doing it. And start now. All of the black business owners that I know, they're so dope. They're so professional. They offer great quality product. And right now, they are offering sales and discounts and prepping their inventory and getting things ready and prepped and prepared for the Black Friday, for Shop Small Saturdays, for Cyber Mondays. Everyone is really working to really produce quality things. So just support them. Black businesses don't need, the majority of the time, they don't need funding. They just need, they just need people to indulge in what they're selling and make purchases. So just, buy something. And don't limit yourself thinking that, oh, I can't find a black-owned business that does XYZ. There are plenty of directories. There are plenty of Google searches that can link you to the different businesses that are out there. And if it's something that you're looking for that you're unfamiliar with, I have a great, vast collection of just black-owned businesses that I work with personally. And if I don't have the service or the product that you're looking for in my repertoire of just businesses that I know, I will find it for you, because even if I don't know that person, they're a fellow black-owned business. We are all in this together. Each one, teach one. We all come together just to make this dream keep thriving. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out our website. It's shopconsciouskingdom.com. Shopconsciouskingdom.com. And check out all of our new products that we have for the fall and winter months. And we also, for those who live in warmer climates, we do have a sale on a lot of our summer and spring items. So all of our skirts and short sleeve tank tops and things like that are all on sale. So definitely check us out. It's always something different. We are Conscious Kingdom. We are inspired by the exuberance of the African diaspora, or diaspora, however you say it. I'm from Charles City, Virginia. Y'all know what I mean. I'm inspired by the beautiness that is our beautiful black folks. I love you. I love you. I love you. Stay encouraged. Keep pushing. Go for your dreams. Live your best life. Take care of your mental health. Drink water. And be sure to tune in next week. This is Freedom. Hashtag Freedom. FREADOM. A literary podcast. This is Conscious Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.